welcome. And welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. If you're new, thank you. If you're a current subscriber or if you're back, also thank you. Of course, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, all of the things that help me get some traction in the algorithm, because isn't that just life, right? Algorithms. Anyway, I wanted to do this quick intro. I did not do this on the Scorpio video. That's okay. But I wanted to do this quick intro because it's 2023 and we are no longer going to assume that people know things without us actually telling people those things, right? And asking for what we want. So I do want you to subscribe to the channel. I want you to come back, press the notification thing, bell thing, so you know the videos are posted whenever they get posted. I would love that. Also, I do have an Etsy store. The link is below, because in true manifesting generator form, my soul cannot just have one thing to focus on. I have to have a bunch. So I do have that. I actually have 2 Etsy stores. One of them is on vacation for now. What else? I am working on getting personal readings back up and running since I've been back, but also just kind of trying to surrender to the flow of that. I mean, I know that'll come exactly when it's meant to. Was there anything else? On Instagram, I post daily, quickie energy reads, like, tarot updates. I was posting those on YouTube, but like on YouTube Shorts, but there's like a 60-second limit to those, and they've just been longer than that. So my Instagram is going to be linked below as well, so check that out. What else? I thought that there was more, and now I'm like drawing a blank, because that's what happens when you are a little vulnerable, I don't know. I guess I'm going to leave it there. If there is anything else, I'll mention it at the start of the video. Great. So let's see. Who's next? I usually go in order for like the zodiac signs and the human design profiles, but I didn't really want to do that this time. So I wrote all of them on pieces of paper, and we'll just see who's next. Okay. Who is this? 2-4. Let's do it. So for these ones, I'm just going to read a blurb about the 2-4 profile that I got from humandesignTools.com, and I'll link the website in the description below if you want to check it out yourself. There's a lot of great resources on this website. And then we'll get an oracle card for an overall vibe. And then, of course, we will get more information with the tarot. So the 2-4 is the Hermit Opportunist. The second line is the Hermit. The fourth line is the Opportunist. And it says, your pearl is letting your unique insights be drawn out of you. There is a tension between the 2 and the 4. You're never quite sure if you want to be alone or if you want to be out among your network of people. It's important for you to create a safe and peaceful resting environment from which to go deep into your own internal processes and to get the rest that you need. And equally important for you to develop a close community of people who will see your natural gifts. These gifts and talents are so inherent that you usually can't see them yourself, which is why you'll need people you trust to draw them out of you. How does that sound? Does that sound like you? I will say, I think that all of the 2-4s that I've met, and some of my closest friends are 2-4s. They're the friendliest, nicest people. You have that inherent gift with the second line, hermit, and the opportunist is the one that needs, to have that network of, friends or community, like it was saying, to almost kind of help you draw that out. So we have release here. Interesting. Somebody else got this. I can't remember, and not that it necessarily matters, but we have release. This is such a cool card because it looks like they are coming out of the weeds. It could even be that they're like being drawn out, like almost like people are calling you out of the weeds. There might even be something that you have found that interests you or that you want to explore. Maybe there's something that you discovered that you enjoy doing, and people are recognizing that you're good at it. We have all these butterflies here which talk about transformation, and there's even a lot of surrender here, just their posture. But also now I'm like recognizing their hand is kind of, it looks like they're holding on to a branch or something here. So that could be where the release is needing to come from, because if you're trying to hold on to something, whether, like that's, kind of trying to hold on to solitude or peace or, whatever, but you're being, almost kind of called out. Like I was saying, how, maybe people are trying to draw you out of this hermit mode. We have the 9 of Cups, King of Wands. It could even just be a little wishy-washy. Like maybe you're not even sure or maybe you don't even see it, which is what, these gifts and talents are so inherent that you usually can't see them yourself. And honestly, I mean, that maybe that's even uncomfortable because, if it's just like, this is just something that like I do, and other people are like, you do that thing so well though, and it could benefit people, or, you could make money off of it or build upon it or whatever. And you're just like, that recognition might be a bit uncomfortable. We need four more cards. The Hanged Man in reverse. Interesting. The Hanged Man has been coming out a lot. And if it's not on the table, it's like pretty close to the bottom of the deck. It's very interesting. 8 of Cups. 2 more. 4 of Pentacles and the High Priestess. And then we have the 7 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, I definitely feel it's definitely more along the lines of being either drawn out, called out, So, we were talking about this release card here, which it's number 27 that simplifies down to a 9. So I love that we start with a 9 on the table. And the 9 of Cups is wish fulfillment. It's your needs being met, feeling purposeful. Cups have to do with our emotions, the heart center. This figure even looks like a genie. So again, there could even be something that you have been manifesting that you're finally seeing come together or show up, like in the 3D. And the 9s are about individual completion. So when we get to a 9, it's saying that individually, I feel like my needs are being met. I feel like, I'm purposeful and intentional and all of those things, right? Like I feel full. So then you move on to the 10 of Cups, which is about your community, your family. It's making sure that your needs are met so that you can meet the needs of other people. Granted, we don't have the 10 of Cups here on the table. I'm just making the point that the 9 of Cups would signify if you don't necessarily feel that way now, it is coming. Or maybe even, I just got this feeling that maybe you're not even perceiving a situation in that manner. And it's almost about like I'm getting this feeling about needing to find some gratitude or even make a gratitude list, like, really almost be present in the gifts that you have received up into this point, like the opportunities that have come your way, or, even getting to a point where, you feel like for the most part that your cups are full. That's not to say, of course, that you don't have, stresses one way or the other, but it's like, I'm just so grateful that things are going in the direction that they are going. And it's interesting because we have the 8 of Cups. So generally, the 8 of Cups it's walking away from, it's choosing to walk towards the thing that makes you happy. That's what they're doing, right? Like, because after the 8 comes the 9. So it's making that decision to go towards the thing that brings you fulfillment, or that you believe would bring you fulfillment or purpose. So it's interesting that, it's almost like these are I don't want to say backwards because they're not, but with this being in the position that it is, it's almost like there's even more opportunity to expand on this and even go further. And that could even be where this release card is coming from. Again, whether that's your network or your community or, whatever it is, it could be your job, it could be school, it could be family, whatever it would be, almost drawing you out of your safe space. And maybe that's the struggle, like maybe it's, trying to create a balance between needing that alone time with the Hermit, needing to, be able to have enough space away from community and your network and whatever in order to recharge and do whatever you want to do, work on your hobby or rest or whatever the case may be. But maybe you've been in that for a little while and there's this opportunity here or as I'm looking at this here, it's also about making sure that you don't get to a point where you are depleted. So if you do need to kind of work on that balance between being too much in the opportunist and not enough in the Hermit, because there does need to be that balance there. And that's where your strategy and authority would come into play. Because, your strategy and authority is going to help you enter into the correct, quote unquote, correct experiences. And then your profile is how you interact with those experiences. So they work in combination to one another, right? So definitely check out your strategy and authority, or read up on that, or just, again, be sure that you are checking in with your strategy and authority, because it's like, you don't want to get to a place where you are so off balance that you just like burn out. Or, even about like over committing when you already know it's kind of like, you don't want to overcommit, but it could just be FOMO. Like things are going so well, or, the things that you have put your attention in or that you believe would bring you this fulfillment, maybe they have worked out better than you thought they were going to. And now it's like, oh shit, I don't have a lot of downtime anymore. Or there's a potential for me to not have as much downtime as maybe I already know that I need, But, ego is telling me that if I don't commit to this or if I don't do it, that I'm going to miss out on some sort of opportunity. And then we have the King of Wands here. And the King of Wands, kings are leaders. There's an authority, aspect with a king. They're the highest expression of the suit, right? And wands are fire. So it's motivation, it's communication, it's, the actual actions that you are taking towards a thing. The King of Wands is the entrepreneur of the tarot also. And that's more so, because of this aspect of freedom, like wanting, creative freedom and wanting to be able to express their passion however they want to do that. And that's what I mean with this, the FOMO thing. Because if there is something or multiple things that have been going well, then, the Four of Pentacles is like, I want to hold on to this for as long as possible. I mean, look at look at this figure here. They're balancing themselves, hovering over this little pile of coins, and there's some crystals in there. There's grapes, which would signify, like luxury, abundance. So again, it's almost just this, fear of missing out. The Four of Pentacles generally talks about holding on too tight to something, like not wanting to let go of it out of fear. Fear that it's not going to get better, fear that it's going to go back to the way that it was, or fear that it's going to get worse. As I'm sitting here, also just kind of like looking at this release card could even be if things have not, if you're sitting here like, I wish I was that 2-4 right now because things have not actually been going the way that I wanted them to, or the opportunities have not been extended, or, I feel the opposite of everything that I've been talking about. Like I was saying before, there's this element of surrender here. And with these butterflies and the transformational aspect here, it could be recognizing that, there is this transformation that's happening. And maybe it's even that what you thought you wanted before has changed, or like the situation is somehow transforming. And there's this element of surrender because, if you try to resist, like the longer you try to resist moving forward or going with the flow of whatever situation is showing up, it's like the longer it prevails and the harder it gets, the more frustrating or disappointing, you could be mad, like bitter also, of course, those are all like the not self themes of each, kind of strategy and authority. So if you find yourself in the not self theme of your strategy and authority, it's like, where in your life do you need to surrender or release? Like literally let go. She's still holding on to this weed or this branch, whatever that is. Where can you let go? This could have even been in a goal that you had, like, I thought it was going to go this way and it didn't. I thought this was what's going to bring me fulfillment and joy, but it didn't. So now there's, this 8 of Cups here saying it's time to, again, release, let it go, recognize that there's nothing left in this situation for you to try to get out of. So where is there an opportunity to even pivot a little bit? This could even be somebody else, is there some sort of help or a mentor, or it could even be stepping into your own power, but maybe that's, a little bit different than something that you've done in the past. And there's, again, even this resistance here about not wanting to let go of something in the past because of FOMO. And that both of those stories lead us to the Hanged Man in reverse and the High Priestess. And I don't shuffle reversals into my decks. So, but if the card comes out in the reverse, we'll leave it that way, and it did. So the Hanged Man is telling me that the time of suspension or delay is coming to an end. Whether that's something that you are conscious of, or if it's just an energetic shift. Because, upright, the Hanged Man talks about being in suspension, but it's purposeful. The reason that, there is this suspension or delay is in order for you to see things from a different perspective. This could, of course, even just be saying that, like I just said a couple minutes ago, it could be extended. Like if there is kind of almost this refusal to acknowledge this thing that's, probably nagging you in the back or the side of your head. And it's like, you could be in denial or just not wanting to really give that thing any attention. And with the High Priestess here, it's like divine timing, fate, destiny, especially this depiction. But, I always see the High Priestess as our star player. It's like, our higher self. It's that direct connection to our higher self. It could be God, it could be spirit, source. If you believe in a higher power, it can be whatever that higher power is for you. It's about intuition also. And specifically, like I was saying, with this depiction, there's a natal chart, there's planetary symbols, elemental symbols. We have this baby here. This is very, almost kind of fated destiny stuff here. I get this feeling of like getting out of your own way. And we can be in our own way by being too busy, being too distracted, having too much on our plates, or not enough. Honestly, it can go either way. We have the Seven of Wands at the bottom of the deck that talks about standing your ground, being a bit defensive. And in this depiction, there's a accomplishment energy to this, because generally, like in the traditional depiction of this, there's 6 wands coming up at, the figure, and they have a defensive stance, like they are trying to thwart off or like fight off all of these wands. And I always see that as being like other people's projections, which, that second line does have its own projection field. So it's like, other people's expectations or other people's fears, other people's doubts, or living vicariously type of thing through you. It's like not even worrying about the effect on other people. Because if you are like just, oh my gosh, this is going to affect my friendships. This is going to affect, my job or my relationship, whether that's romantic or platonic, whatever the case may be. I just get this feeling like it's like you don't even have to worry about it, and really just focus on yourself and making sure that you're honoring your own thing. And then we have the Page of Pentacles behind here. I see the Page of Pentacles as being the apprentice. So, this could be learning a new skill. And again, even like I was kind of saying at the beginning, at some point, I think about giving yourself time to foster your hobby or get some downtime, or, if this is school, if this is developing a skill. This is what the Page of Pentacles is. It's researching new things. But obviously, having the time to do that. Queen of Cups under there. Again, making sure that your cup is full. You feel fulfilled. And when you do, when you feel like you have an abundance of emotion, right? Like when you just feel like your cup is full, you're better able to, fill the cups of other people or interact with other people, or, kind of pour your desire into other things. So just keep checking in with yourself. We don't even have, do we? We don't have any air out here. We have fire, water, earth, no air. So the emotional body and physical body. And then again, it's like, what do you want to actually be putting your attention into? What's your motivation to do these things? Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for being here. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.